Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. We are officially on to our fourth and final film in the month of March, a month that we have been calling Let's Hear It for the Ladies Month, and it has been flying by.
It has been, man.
It's been a really fun month. We've watched some great films. And to wrap up this month, we have a very unique international film to chat about that's been getting a lot of love over the past few years. But before we do that, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news?
This is horror news.
Blairski, you got some horror news?
I got a couple of things. The first teaser trailer for Alien Romulus dropped. And to me, anyways, it looks fantastic, man. Looks dark. It looks intense. The trailer shows some face huggers as well as a full-grown xenomorph at the very end. Quite excited for this one. Release date for that is August 16th this year.
Oh, wow, this year.
Yes,
See,
sir.
I didn't realize they were making a new Alien movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, buddy.
But surprise, surprise, right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for it. It looks really good. It looks a lot like kind of the original film, almost like a remake of it. So
excellent. What else you got?
Another trailer that dropped, Beetlejuice, also known as Beetlejuice 2, which also looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. In the trailer, it shows all the original cast is back. Michael Keaton again as Beetlejuice with the addition of Jenna Ortega as well. Comes out September 6th of this year.
Yeah, the trailer is 1 minute and 16 seconds, but the whole minute and 16 seconds is a giant nostalgia trip.
100% it is.
This movie looks like a lot of fun. And Michael Keaton in full makeup looks awesome.
He looks great. Hey,
yeah, I know it's so good.
I know he's covered in makeup, but it makes him look like he hasn't aged today. It's the exact same Beetlejuice that you'd remember from the original.
Oh, he's back, baby. He's back.
He's back.
That's going to be a great movie.
What's the line in the trailer? The juice is loose or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I found it great.
Oh, that'll be great.
My last piece of horror news this week is we are just days away from a limited theatrical release of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, playing in select theaters March 26th, 27th, and 28th. Jesse, you and I are going opening night on the 26th, and I can't wait, man.
I cannot wait. We've talked about it a million times on the podcast, off the podcast, of how much fun that experience of seeing the first one in theaters was.
Yeah.
I am beyond excited to see the second one.
Me too, man. Horrible movie, but a lot of fun to watch.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And like you were saying, when you bought tickets the other day, the theater is already half full.
And
so
that was a few days
great.
ago. So
yeah. Good news. I can't wait.
Yeah, it should be a fun time, man.
I've got a couple pieces of horror news here. Blairski, some people might not know, but you are a huge Goosebumps fan.
I am. I just started collecting the originals again.
You did indeed. Yeah, you were telling me the other day you found 2 the other day. Is that right?
Found 2 at just like kind of a private little bookstore. They were like $3 each. I had to get them.
Perfect. Well, I don't know if you watched season 1, but Goosebumps is coming back for a second season on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And a massive name has just joined the cast. Your favorite, David Schwimmer,
right on,
will be giving us Goosebumps this upcoming season.
Right on, man.
Pretty
Friends
exciting.
And Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
absolutely. Did you watch season 1 of Goosebumps?
You know what? Like you're talking the new rendition of Goosebumps, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I have not seen any of them, man. I watched the old school 90s show. I've seen all of them. Of
course.
But no, I have not yet even watched the first season. So I should probably get on that.
He's saving himself for Goosebumps. Yeah. And then finally, we've got a brand new gameplay trailer for the upcoming Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game, scheduled for release June 4th. This new trailer just makes me even more excited for this game.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It does. It looks like a ton of fun. It's not the type of game that I often play or ever play.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at these online survival games. but it looks like a ton of fun. Like you said. It was also reported earlier this week that the title song used in the movie, performed by the punk band The Dickies, would not be used in the game.
What a shame, eh?
The band posted on their Facebook page sharing their disappointment. The post was then taken down, and it was revealed that the song would be indeed in the game and used for the start menu and credits.
That's weird. Hey, someone must have saw that post they made.
Apparently, and I think it was the developers who saw that post. And there was, I think, to my understanding from what I read on Bloody Disgusting, it seemed like there was just a little bit of confusion between the Dickies and the developers, where the developers were like, oh, no, like it's in there 100%. But to my understanding, it will be in the game.
Well, good. Good.
Yeah.
As it should be.
A great tune, and it like a giant piece of the cult classic that is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
100%, man.
Yeah. That's all I have for horror news. What do you say we jump into the fourth and final film of Let's Hear It for the Ladies Month, which goes to 2017's Tigers Are Not Afraid. Blairski, runtime on this one, 1 hour, 23 minutes. Initial thoughts on the runtime.
Man, this month we've been getting some awesome runtimes.
Awesome runtimes. Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. 1 hour, 23 minutes, right in the sweet spot.
Yes, sir.
Fun facts.
Fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Do you have any for Tigers Are Not Afraid?
I do have a few of them. Although the English name of this film is obviously Tigers Are Not Afraid, the Spanish name for this film is actually Vuelven. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but it translates to They Return.
Ooh, cool.
So a totally different name. This film was also shot in chronological order, and the child actors were never shown a script.
Yeah.
This was done to elicit the children's authentic reactions to what was going on around them. That being said, the child cast members also had zero acting experience prior to working on this film, and they were enrolled in an improvisational workshop with an acting coach prior to the shooting. That's all the experience they had.
Pretty unreal, especially if you've seen this movie. And it's hard to believe that this is all of their first kick at the cans because, and we'll get to it in likes and dislikes. These kids killed it. Yeah. They're on screen 98% of the movie.
Yep.
And wow, just wow. Apparently they were also chosen from over 600 children.
That's wild.
Unbelievable.
That's wild, man.
I have one last piece of fun facts.
Okay.
There's a scene where the character Moro has the number 14 painted on his back. It's a really sweet scene. One of the few scenes of the movie where they're kind of laughing and joking along and being kids. Mm-hmm. But the name, so the number 14 and the name on the back, Chikorito, was over top of the number. This was the number and nickname of Javier Hernandez, who played for Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
And he was from Mexico. And apparently crime rates in Mexico dropped every time Manchester United played while Javier Hernandez was on the team.
Because everyone's just too busy watching the game.
Too busy watching the game. Too busy watching the pride of Mexico, Javier Hernandez, play for Manchester United. Pretty cool, man.
Very cool
really,
stuff,
really
man.
cool. Yeah. Let's chat about the fine folks who worked on this interesting film. First of all, starting with directed by Issa Lopez, also directed 6 episodes of the newest season of True Detectives, which she also wrote and created the story for.
Right on.
And she also directed 2 episodes of the television show Britannia and the 2008 film Casi Divas. Pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I can't remember if I knew she was involved with True Detectives. That's
I sure didn't. Yeah.
Huge series. This one also written by Issa Lopez, of course, I just mentioned. She wrote 6 episodes of the newest season of True Detectives. She also wrote 2015's A la Mala, 2015's 600 Millas, 2013's Pulling Strings, and 2003's Ladies' Night, just to name a few. This one starring, and I'm not going to go into too much detail just because, as we were mentioning, a lot of these kids, this was their first acting performance, and they haven't done a whole lot of credited roles since. But starting off, Paulo Lara as Estrella also starred in the 2019 short Rina, the 2019 short La Bestia. She starred as Cecilia in 2019's La Siberia, and as Miriam in the 2023 short Naufragos. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those titles.
Lots of Spanish titles.
Yeah. Also starring Juan Roman Lopez as El Shine. Also starred as Paco in 2020's Son of Monarchs. And then starring Neri Arredondo as Moro, Hansel Calias as Tuxi, and Rodrigo Cortez as Pop. I just want to the acting from the adults in this film is great as well, but those 5 performers are the 5 children in this film, and they knocked it out of the park.
Stole the show, man.
Absolutely. Synopsis for 2017's Tigers Are Not Afraid, courtesy of our dear friends at IMDb. A dark fairy tale about a gang of 5 children trying to survive the horrific violence of the cartels and the ghosts created every day by the drug war. Great synopsis.
I dig it for sure, man. Yeah.
Yeah. True to the point. Yeah, it's a great synopsis. Really
definitely kind of got a fairy tale vibe to it, which we'll talk about it.
We'll definitely talk about that for sure. But before we do that, what do you say we talk about kill count?
Kill count. The time of the show we count the kills.
Now, Blairski, you had a little bit of trouble with this one.
Yeah, I didn't keep count watching it. I could not find anything online, so you're saving the day for this one.
Yeah, you know what? You got me to verify, double check, and I think the total kill count I had, and it's a little bit tricky. We had mentioned it's kind of like Piranha, where there's on-screen deaths and then there's thousands upon thousands of deaths that we don't see.
Yeah.
So there's too many deaths to count, but the count I tallied while watching the movie of on-screen deaths or the deaths that happen in that time frame are 7.
Yeah, which is a significantly high number.
Absolutely. When you consider that half of the cast, if not more, are children too, that makes it a lot more horrifying, in my opinion. Yeah.
100%, man.
Let's chat about that in our next segment, which is likes and dislikes. Likes, dislikes, likes, dislikes, and everything in between. The portion of the show where we chat about what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything in between. Blairski, what did you think about the kills/deaths in this movie?
They were pretty brutal. I found this movie not scary by any means, but actually sad. It's a sad movie, especially because there are a lot of kids out there living this kind of life.
Yeah.
I found the kills and deaths very realistic, unfortunately, almost.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, they are pretty realistic.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I put down, it's sad. These kids only have each other. It's just a horrible life, and they're just trying to survive. But it also leads to some really sweet moments throughout the movie where, like one in particular, there's a soccer scene in an abandoned building.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the few moments in the movie where the kids are just being kids. And it's just a really sweet, beautiful moment. Yeah.
Let's talk about the kids for a second. The acting. Yeah. We already mentioned that they had no acting experience before. And yeah, they stole the show. The acting was amazing, and the kids in this movie were fantastic.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe they didn't act together, but like these kids have to have known each other or like been really good friends prior to the shoot, because their relationships are just so natural, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's wild how well they all interact together. It just felt supernatural, effortless. They all had really great connections and chemistries. The scenes between Estrella and El Shine, and the scenes between Estrella and Moro in particular really stood out to me. but the acting, all in all, fantastic.
Really good, man. And the set design too. It almost felt apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It felt like there was no one else in the world other than these kids and the gangs running the show. That's what it felt like. And I'm sure if you were in that situation as one of those kids, it would feel that exact same. It's just them.
They're alone.
And they're alone. Yeah.
If you think about it, I mean, if you're living in a cartel run neighborhood, would you go outside? I mean, the streets are empty, like you were saying, except for those children. So it just really does hammer home that idea of loneliness, of there's no one looking out for them. The only adults in this movie are either being killed quickly or are cartel members.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, 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 really interesting.
How did you feel about the fairy tale portions of this movie?
I didn't mind it. I think I was a little bit confused at parts.
Yeah.
Online, I think it's listed as a dark fantasy / horror movie. And I think they definitely leaned more towards the dark fantasy aspects of it.
Yeah.
The characters, especially with the children, really reminded me a lot of Peter Pan and the Lost Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that.
It's just, a group of kids just trying to hold on to their innocence and youth in a world that is burning all around them.
Yeah.
There's no presence of adults except for adults that are villains. It's very much that Captain Hook idea where the only adults in this movie are pirates and they're bad,
Yeah. Same idea. Same idea.
What did you think of the fairy tale aspects of the movie?
I didn't mind it. So there's a trail of blood that seems to follow Estella around everywhere she goes. That I kind of got because I looked at that as death, it was death. That is death following her everywhere she goes. And there's points where she literally blocks it and stops it from happening. I got that. Where I was thrown off a little bit was there's scenes where there's little mini dragons flying around. That kind of threw me off a little bit. I didn't really get that part of the movie, but it didn't throw me off, too much.
Yeah, it wasn't overly clear. The dragon stuff I also didn't fully understand. I didn't really understand the trail of blood, the line of blood until the very end, where it's almost like, oh, that is like foreshadowing to something bad happening.
Yeah.
Like somebody's going to die if that line ever shows up, kind of thing.
That's the way I looked at it. It's basically death following her around.
100%. Yeah. Anything else you really liked about this one?
It's not a like or dislike, but I got major Del Toro vibes from this movie.
Yeah.
All the fairy tale / magic scenes reminded me an awful lot of Pan's Labyrinth.
100%.
Both, I think Del Toro's also Mexican as well.
I believe so, yes.
So I'm sure Lopez got a lot from him.
A lot of inspiration.
Yeah, a lot of inspiration.
Absolutely. It's just kind of like this dark fantasy world with, strong child characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing I do have written down, I just want to talk about before we go ahead, is you can tell from the beginning to the end of this movie that it's all director Issa Lopez through and through. She commanded the child actors. She commanded the scenes in this movie. It's got Issa Lopez through and through. This movie does.
Yeah, major kudos to her to get the performances, the end performances that we got out of those kids, because that was fantastic. And I think, like you were saying, everything in this movie is owed to how well she directed it.
100%.
And wrote it as well, because the script is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a little bit bizarre.
It was a little bit.
There is a lot of moments in this movie that left me scratching my head. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It just means it made me think, which isn't a bad thing at all.
No, that's true.
Yeah. I also loved I think this is really my last point, but I love the reoccurring images of the painted tiger as well. Mm-hmm. Not just the painted tiger, but the graffiti just in general. The graffiti plays such an important part in, I think, showing the kids emotions when they can't show them themselves.
Yeah.
They use the graffiti as kind of this outlet to show what they're going through, which is really interesting.
And it's everywhere. The graffiti is everywhere in this movie, and tigers too. Like, not only graffiti tigers, there's toy stuffed tigers, there's real life tigers. There's a lot of tigers in this movie, man.
Almost in every scene. Yeah, almost in every scene. Absolutely. Anything else you didn't like, you liked, you were meh about?
That's all I got written down here, man. I don't have a big list of likes and dislikes for this movie.
Yeah, agreed. I say we move right along to our next segment, which is lessons we learned from watching 2017's Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The portion of the show where we discuss the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said movie Blairski. Did you learn a single thing from 2017's Tigers Are Not Afraid?
Well, I know you've got a few. I'll let you get there. I've only got one, but I think it's a big one. This movie just reminded me how lucky I am to live in a country like Canada, where gangs and corruption, compared to many other parts of the world, are quite minimal. And I'm able to raise my family without fear of violence every single day.
Absolutely. We definitely count our blessings, and
100%.
we're very, very fortunate. We can't take that for granted.
No, sir.
Yeah, agreed. I learned a few things here. Tigers can see in the dark.
Yes, they can.
I also learned that police caution tape makes for a great limbo pole.
Yeah.
I also learned if you have 3 magic pieces of chalk that may grant you wishes, make sure to be specific and realize that there may be repercussions to those wishes.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that satanic rituals and satanic virtuals are more or less the same thing. And then finally, don't lock children in cages. Definitely not something I learned from this movie, but something that, this movie reminded us of.
Yeah.
Don't lock children in cages. Dear Lord.
No.
This leads us to our next segment, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the movie. They might give us chills, they might give us the giggles. All we know is that they are our favorites, Blairski.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any lines from this one?
Again, I've just got one. This one kind of cuts deep, though. I've only got the one line. It's said by Estrella as a narration to her fairy tale. She goes, "Tigers are not afraid. They went through all the bad stuff and came out on the other side. They are the kings of this kingdom of broken things," which I found quite beautiful and very poetic.
Yeah. Tigers are not afraid is a line that pops up right away. But I also had that. Tigers are kings of this kingdom of broken things. Great line. Beautiful line.
Awesome line, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple to go along with that. Kind of like Tigers Are Not Afraid. This is a line that keeps popping up throughout the movie, but it's bring him to us.
Yep.
I also had one here. No fucking way. Cops are the worst. That was from Shine. After 2 of the other boys suggested they take the phone that they find to the police.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful, heartbreaking line that Shine delivers that is simply, "Goodbye, kiddo." Oh, so sad. So sad. That's what I got for Line of the Night, which means we are on to our final segment of the show. Some might say it's our favorite segment.
I would probably say that it's my favorite segment.
I would say it's in my top 5 for favorite segments.
the amount of segments we have.
That's right, yeah. And of course, this segment that we talk about is Celebrity Lookalike Time.
Celebrity Lookalike Time.
The time of the show where we take a look at the cast and discuss their celebrity doppelgangers. Spoiler alert, it usually comes down to the character's hairstyle, Blairski.
Yes, sir.
What do you got for Celebrity Lookalike Time?
Mine are kind of out there, but I got 2 of them. The character El Shine. His facial features kind of reminded me of a young Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Probably, as I said, it's probably way out there, and
Maybe in the eyes. Maybe in the eyes.
I think the eyes and just I don't know, kind of just the way he looked, but a much younger, obviously, Bruno Mars.
Sure.
The character Maxwell, which, by the way, when he died, I hated that scene.
Ugh.
I hated it. But he reminded me of Sean Weiss, aka Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks series.
Okay.
I think a lot of that was the big curly hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I've got one here, and it is very out there.
Okay.
The toy tiger that the character Moro carried around everywhere reminded me of everyone's favorite sardonic tiger / imaginary friend, Hobbs, from the Calvin and Hobbes comic strip.
I used to love Calvin and Hobbes, man.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that halfway through the movie, the toy tiger comes to life as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's all I have for celebrity lookalike. Like I said, major stretch on this one.
Yeah.
A little bit tricky when the cast is
All
children.
Yeah.
But we got through it.
Yeah.
Which means only one thing: we've made it to our final rating for 2017's Tigers Are Not Afraid. Blairski, out of 5 baby grand pianos lit ablaze, what do you give Tigers Are Not Afraid?
Yeah, well, to be honest, this isn't normally kind of my style of movie, especially horror movies. But it was a fantastic movie, really well made. And the acting was superb in it. I'm going to give it 3 baby grand pianos lit ablaze out of 5.
Yeah, I agree with you with your comments and with your rating as well. I'm going to give it 3 baby grand pianos lit ablaze out of 5. It's not a movie that I think I would have watched.
Not doing this podcast, probably.
On my own, not doing the podcast. It's just not usually, like, dark fantasy is not my go-to. This movie was great, though.
Yeah.
And like we said, the direction and the acting was impeccable.
It was really good, man. It was really well-made movie, for sure.
Agreed. So 3 out of 5. Highly recommend this movie. Go out and watch it. It is on Shudder. That's where we watched it for anyone watching in Canada. Yeah, good watch. Go out and watch it.
Yeah, 100%.
Great month. We made it. We made
did.
it through the Let's Hear It for the Ladies month. It's been a fun month. I am very excited
Me
for
too.
next month.
Me too, man.
We'll have our selection show coming out later this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, we
I'm
will.
anticipating. We'll hopefully be putting together a bonus episode for the new Winnie the Pooh movie coming out.
Yes, sir. This coming week.
And then we'll dive right into April, perhaps with something a little bit more comical, Blairski.
A little something a little more lighthearted, I'm thinking.
In 2 years, well, about a year and a half of doing these reviews, this is one of the most exciting, the most excited I've been for a themed month since we've started. So
it's right up your alley, and it's going to be a fun month for sure.
100%. So excited to share that with all of you listeners. But until then, this has been Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/Reviews That Scare. That's linktr.ee/Reviews That Scare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsthatscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich. A proud member of Pod Nation TV.